Good morning, Scott Deaton with Deaton Group Realty. Hey, I got another Deaton's Real Stuff episode. I was showing houses to a guy who's not from the area. He's from Dallas, actually, moving up, wanted to be in Saline County, Bryant area. And it just reiterated the importance of having a representation, an agent, a knowledgeable, licensed professional who's representing your best interest. Because we looked at some homes, and he wanted to go look at a few more homes, and a couple more homes before he went back to Texas. And I knew the area he was looking in had what's called special improvement taxes. And what those are, they're additional real estate taxes on top of your county taxes that you pay basically to pay the developer back for developing and building this neighborhood, the streets and utilities and so forth. And I knew this neighborhood had almost $900 in additional real estate taxes. So we go to the house, it's new construction, loved the house. But right away I told him about the real estate taxes because my position was to protect his best interest, and I didn't want him to get into a position where the real estate taxes might be too high, because those additional real estate taxes affect your monthly payment. Okay, and those special improvement taxes can go on for 20 or 30 years, so probably going to outlive you living in that house. But you talk about something that increases your monthly payment by almost $100. That's a big deal. So right off the bat, I told him about these special improvement taxes, and that was one thing kind of piqued his interest, definitely. But then as we were looking at the backyard, I also, just being in this business as long as I have, I've also know how to look for the property lines. And this property had a slight hill, and then it flattened out for a long way. And he walked out there and went, "Oh, this is great. You know, we can work with that." He had two small kids, and I knew that it was important for him to have yard space for that. Well, as I started walking around the neighborhood, I noticed a few things. One, I noticed a power line. Two, I noticed that the fence line of neighbors about 3 houses up. And I told my buyer, I said, hey, all this land that you see is probably not your land. Based upon this power lines that are here, I bet this is a utility easement, which means it's not part of your property, which means you can't even fence it in and use it legally. And I said, look at that fence line down there. And when we looked at that fence line to another fence line down on the other side, you put those two together, we could see that the actual property line of this house was only about 10 or 15 feet behind the house, and it was on a slope down. And right when I told him those two things, he was like, wow, I'm glad you noticed that. I'm not interested in these houses at all. And it just hit me again going, there's very important. I say it all the time, realtors are a dime a dozen, but we are not created equal. You need to make sure you're represented by somebody who's looking out for your best interest, which means representation. And then two, somebody who knows the area. They're knowledgeable, they're professional, they're not part-time, they're not just doing this to sell 1 or 2 houses a year, because this is the largest financial investment that you're going to make. And what a tragedy it would be to be stuck in a situation where you're paying more than you expected and you didn't buy what you inspected. So be careful. Scott Deaton with Deaton Group Realty.